Hi, everyone. SBR Videos. I'm Peter Loshak. Today is Tuesday, December 22nd. This is the Into the Weekend with BetDSI show. We're going to cover the middle batch of bowl games right now with Brent, the headlines manager from DSI Sportsbook. We're going to take a look at the 16 bowls from December 26th through December 30th. Brent, thanks so much for being back with us. The first bowl that I have to ask you about, right, is the bowl involving Washington State. Now, Washington State, as we know, I mean, if you bet Washington State, week in and week out during the regular season, you're a tech billionaire by now, right, Brent? And, they lost their last game against the spread. Here they're just a small favorite, though, against Miami, who, is losing their coach. Washington State's getting their quarterback back. This might be a great bet here, right? Did the Sharps pound Washington State yet?
So far in terms of the number of bets, I definitely have more bets on Washington State. I mean, we're talking a count of about 3-1 in favor of Washington State. We're sitting at -2.5, -115 right now. My money's pretty much even because I've got the bigger bets that I took have come pretty much on both sides. So, I mean, I definitely have the public one way with Washington State, but I've got sharp action both ways, which is kind of nice. And now when I say sharp, this is a case where it's just kind of like pseudo sharp bets. I've got some guys with deeper pockets who are fire on both sides of this game. So it's kind of nice for us right now between just like the 2.5, and they did grab some 3. That line went up to 3. They grabbed Miami, Florida. So it looks like, I mean, based on the early action, I would say it's going to bounce between, the 2.5 and 3, which it has so far. Right now, Washington State -2.5, -15. The total, same thing. I mean, every now and then you get numbers in terms of the totals, and you see, you'll open up at a 60 something, close up at a 70, you say, wow, you got to call the guys up and say, hey, where did these numbers come from? This is a case with the total, at least. It seems to work quite well in addition, because we're sitting with, decent respectable money over 61.5, decent money under 63 as well. We're sitting 62 right now. Have a ton of action both on the side and the total. So it's a real good game for us right now. Nothing huge in terms of sharp action involved. Public definitely on Washington State. Public way on the over count there. In terms of the number of wagers I've taken, is about 4-1. But in terms of the money, pretty much even, again, because the sharper guys have bounced back and forth between over 61.5 and under 63. And again, on the side, it was -2.5 and the +3.
All right. And then another game where I'm expecting the public to come in on one side is Wisconsin USC, right? That one goes on Wednesday the 30th. USC often can be a big public back team at times, and here they're just a small favorite. I'm guessing USC is already a pretty big public side.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's
massive,
big,
massive public side. Wow.
Yeah,
okay,
the wager
right.
count. Yeah, the wager count is really it's like 5-1, and my money's almost the same thing in terms of the straight bets. Now I've got people teasing and parlaying Wisconsin here and there, stuff like that. But still, in terms of the number of wagers, yeah, it's all one side on USC. Do I have anything? I got like pseudo sharp action on USC when the line was 3. We're sitting at 3.5, dog 15 right now. That'll probably level off to 3.5 because I haven't really got anything back on Wisconsin at all. So I do expect that line to climb. We just haven't seen anything yet. But again, public way over USC. Pseudo sharp money on USC -3, sitting at 3.5 right now. I do have sharp money on the under as well in this game, though. Under 51 was sharp. We're seeing it at 50 right now. So it's interesting because you usually get a lot more public action on the over when USC is involved, but not so far in this game. The only sharp action really I have under 51. Public really not involved in the total at all. But yeah, pseudo sharp action on USC -3 for sure. We're sitting 3.5, dog 15 right now. I would expect that to go up for sure.
All right. And then the third game I want to ask about is Baylor UNC. I just want to ask about this one because it feels like, first of all, both teams are ranked. It's also a very wacky game, right? Crazy injuries for Baylor towards the end of the season, and they lost 5 out of their last 6 against the spread. And then UNC has been a pretty good team, the kind of team that the Sharps did back up at times during the regular season. They're a small favorite here. Any notable action on Baylor USC, or is the volume surprisingly low, which might be my guess, actually?
Yeah, I mean, it is a bit low just because, I mean, the Baylor injuries are just like, I mean, you don't even know who's playing right now. I mean, They got wide receivers who are looking likely to miss, running back likely to miss, one quarterback's out, the other one's probable, but coming off a concussion is just like, wow, it's messy. So, I mean, this line went like from Baylor as a small favorite to a small dog where we are right now. North Carolina is a 2.5-point favorite, total 68.5 as well. So, I mean, I do have money on both sides for sure. Pretty much balanced in terms of the count, but my money's about 2-1 in favor of North Carolina. Just a couple bigger bets on North Carolina there, but nothing, incredibly sharp involved in this game. Again, just mostly because of all the injury questions to Baylor. Just public money on the over. Sharps haven't touched this one at all.
All right, 3 interesting bowls. There's 13 other bowl games that we didn't get to from December 26th through December 30th. Is there any notable action that you'd like to share with us, Brent?
Yeah, I mean, Indiana Duke is one of those situations where I talked about the total. Sometimes you get it right, and sometimes you don't. This is, with Miami, Florida, Washington State, we got it right. 62 are sitting right now. They went over 61.5 and under 63. Well, Indiana Duke is one of those games where the Sharps started going over 66. I'm sitting at 71 right now, and I still haven't got anything back. So we're sitting at 7-1. Like, okay, we've moved the line 5 points. Is someone going to come on the under? Anyone? We're just kind of waiting, kind of tapping our fingers, waiting for someone to come under. But I do have sharp action on this game. It started at 66. The Sharps kind of stopped playing it at 69, but we're up to 71 right now. Still haven't got anything back at all. So that's not really a good spot for us. I do have sharp action on Virginia Tech. Now we're sitting at 13.5 right now. I've got more wagers on Tulsa, sitting at plus 13.5. But I did get like a decent bet back at 14. But the line went from 13.5 minus 0.5, which was sharp on Virginia Tech, up to 14. Got some back, so we're back down to 13.5. But based on the sharp action on Virginia Tech minus 13.5 minus 0.5, I wouldn't be surprised if that one went back up. Another total for you that was sharp was Nebraska UCLA. The over 60 was sharp there. I'm at 61 right now. Again, I've got nothing the other way. Minnesota, they are playing Central Michigan. Minnesota's a 6-point favorite right now. Minnesota minus 5 was sharp. My count is about 2, almost 3 to 1 in favor of Minnesota. Almost nothing back on Central Michigan. So I got public and sharp money on Minnesota. Again, the sharp money came in at the minus 5. Talking about Memphis and Auburn, we'll go to that game right now. The total as well. I've got quite a few totals for you today. This one under 64 that came. I'm sitting at 62.5 right now, so I've got a little bit money back on the over, but it was definitely not sharp money on the over. Sharp money came under 64 in that Michigan game. USC, we talked about the under 51, and another total is down to Florida and Michigan. And I don't need to tell you where the sharp money came. We're sitting at 39.5 right now. Under 41.5 is where the sharp money came. So, I mean, Florida unders, the Sharps have been on that, all season long. Under 41.5 they came on this game. Florida and Michigan, we're sitting at 39.5 right now.
That takes care of the middle batch of bowl games. We will be back with Brent next Tuesday to cover the final batch of games, including all the big ones. Brent from BetDSI, thanks so much.